Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Tonight channel. Gervonta Davis primed for a top-ass pay-per-view star role if Deontay Wilder retires. Gervonta Davis is poised to become the #1 star in American boxing once Deontay Wilder walks away from the sport for good. Davis will become the most significant pay-per-view star in the United States over the next 12 months as Wilder considers his future. Wilder is yet to make an official decision regarding his return to the sport following 2 losses against Tyson Fury. The Fury trilogy proves to be the catalyst for Wilder becoming an exclusive pay-per-view star in America. Every time he competes now will be on a paid platform. Davis is a second only to Wilder at the moment, as Mayweather Promotions continues to push Tank as their #1 pay-per-view guy. Should Wilder walk away now or in the next 12 months, Davis will be miles ahead of the next contender in the line as the top name on pay-per-view. Errol Spence will aim to prove his worth against Yordenis Ugas on April 16, but with Floyd Mayweather pulling power, Davis will stay ahead of Spence unless the Truth can secure an undisputed clash with Terence Crawford. Even then, that overtaking would only be for one fight. As he continues to rise through the weight, taking on champions, Davis will only enhance his reputation. Mayweather certainly won't be happy until his man regularly secures over 500,000 sales. Deontay Wilder. Wilder showed against Fury that the interest in pay-per-view remains high, even not as significant as when Mayweather was in his pomp. In total, Wilder's 4 pay-per-view fights generated 2 million buys. A solid representation from the most well-known boxer in the United States. Gervonta Davis numbers. Davis has some way to go, having sold just over 500,000 over his last 3 contests, but the signs are there that Tank will only improve these numbers. The way to do that is to put huge names alongside him on the poster. Any of the top 5 would do that for Davis. Josh Kambosos, who holds 3 versions of the lightweight crown, will be ordered to fight Davis by the World Boxing Association later in 2022. That situation happens provided he can't throw Devin Haney, another fighter on the top 5 list. The other 3 are Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia and Vasily Lomachenko. This scenario is where Mayweather should be aiming for Davis, and no doubt where they will be looking soon. Once he breaks the 500,000 barrier, there will be no looking back for Gervonta Davis. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 1000 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard, absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. Gervonta Davis-Vasily Lomachenko lightweight matchup is music to Calvin Ford's ears. Ford, the longtime trainer of Baltimore's Davis, recently expounded his thoughts about that hypothetical pairing, and suffice to say he was enthusiastic. A Davis-Lomachenko all-southpaw fight would obviously garner massive attention, as one of the best fights one could make in the competitive lightweight division. But like so many of the most intriguing matchups in the sport, it is hampered by politics. Davis is promoted by Premier Boxing champions, while Lomachenko is backed by rival entity Top Rank. Discourse aside, count Ford as well as Davis as a fan of that fight. We're waiting on that fight. You know what I'm saying? Ford told. We're waiting on that fight. Like I said, it's gonna be a chess match. It's gonna be a real chess match. A Davis-Lomachenko bout has been floated as a possibility for a number of years, stretching back to when Davis was still campaigning at 130. But it doesn't appear serious negotiations ever took place. Davis, moreover, acknowledged at one point that his handlers, Al Haymon and Floyd Mayweather Jr., were not in a rush to put him into a fight with the Ukrainian, as they had a plan in place to groom him into an attraction. Me and Floyd, we actually talked about it, Davis said in 2019 referring to the Lomachenko fight. Even me and Al Haymon talked about it, but it's about making it at the right time. Everything don't happen overnight. We know that Al Haymon and Top Rank head Bob Arum, they did business together before. But it's be hard making fights with them too. But I am just a student of the game. I have a great team. I am just following their lead. Since that period, the hard-hitting Davis has emerged as one of the handful of American fighters with bona fide crossover appeal and has fought his last 3 fights on pay-per-view. Davis, 27, is coming off a 12-round unanimous decision over Isaac Cruz in December at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. The 33-year-old Lomachenko was also in the ring in December, defeating Richard Comey by unanimous decision at Madison Square Garden in New York City. The 2-time Olympian and 3-division world champion who defeated the lightweight division before giving up his belt in a loss to Teofimo Lopez in 2020. Now the 2-time Olympic gold medal winner is a frontrunner to face unified lightweight champion George Kambosos, who unseated Lopez last year. Ford made it clear that Lomachenko is still an attractive proposition in his team's eyes. I don't know if Loma gonna take the chances that he takes with other fighters he does with a tank, but that's like a mega fight, to tell you the truth. Ford said. That's the fights people been waiting on. Ford is convinced that the fight must happen at some point down the line. I think 22 is going to be a real interesting year for all of them, to tell the truth, because they gotta fight each other, Ford said. Eddie Hearn hopes for Devin Haney versus George Kambosos Jr. That's the only fight. The matchroom boss wants to settle the undisputed lightweight question. Eddie Hearn is hopeful that he can make a fight between Devin Haney and George Kambosos Jr. Kambosos is the unified champion, holding belts from all 4 governing bodies, but his WBC strap is as franchise champion, while Haney is the standard WBC champion. That means that in order to truly settle the equation of an undisputed champion, the pair will have to meet before the belts become dispersed. Ryan Garcia and Vasily Lomachenko were 2 other names in the mix for the fight, but the matchroom boss is still keen to get his champion in the boat. We are going to give him every opportunity because we want the fight badly, and Devin said that's the only fight we are focused on right now, Hearn said. June 4th is the proposed date, so we've got 2 or 3 weeks to make the fight, really. It is some time we want to plan Davis' fight for December, so we're happy to wait until June, provided we get that undisputed fight. Hopefully, we will get it agreed and announced in due course, Hearn said. Sergio Mora wants Ryan Garcia to learn to fight dirty on the inside with a new trainer. The former world champion discussed the lightweight's future on the DAZN boxing show. Sergio Mora discussed how Joe Guzan can help Ryan Garcia move to the next level. Former WBC lightweight interim champion Garcia departed at the Reynoso's gym and has now returned to Guzan, who trained the young Californian early in his amateur career. Coming off an extended break due to injury and mental health, Garcia is set to fight Emmanuel Tagoya live on DAZN on April 23rd. Ahead of the fight, he announced a change in trainers, and Mora told as part of the DAZN boxing show that Garcia needs to improve his close-range fighting. He needs to show Ryan Garcia how to fight on the inside, Mora began. Because Joe Guzan is great at training fighters who fight on the inside, big left hooks, long jabs. You want to bank on the inside, Mora said. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I really want to get 1000 subscribers on my YouTube channel.